Rico.
And I am Peter.
And I am Lori.
And I'm Hamilton.
Hamilton through Skype, and we are with Action Heroes LA and HeroesForParties.com, Heroes Character Rental Service. We have so many names. And we are here with yet another review. We've been going through a number of movies while we're on in COVID times, and we're gonna one we just watched last night. It's that classic by Spike Lee,
Do the Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing, originally released 31 years ago in 1989. And so, if anyone knows, we didn't cover the plot of these movies. So this takes place in the hot summer, late 80s, 89, 88, in Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood in New York. At the time was a almost completely black neighborhood, but I wonder if it's changed much in the last 30 years.
It's changed a lot.
It wasn't completely black even then, because Rosie Perez was there.
Oh, well, that's Puerto Rican company. So, I should have tested something, but that's okay. So anybody want to start? It was, this movie is really relevant to current times, particularly the social protests that have gone on since the murder of George Floyd in Minnesota by the police officer. Yeah. So.
And the movie starred Rosie Perez.
Peter has a little thing for Rosie Perez, in case you can't see. So, Ham, what was it like? I haven't seen this movie maybe in about 20 years. I saw it quite a few times when it came out, but it's been a long time since I saw it.
I watched it like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I was really impressed with how it held up. But seeing it last night, I think it holds up even better now with all that's going on. In particular, it shows how things haven't really changed in 30 years, which is sad.
Yeah.
That the same kind of issues that were going on back then are still going on.
It's crazy.
I've heard people say they talk about Spike Lee like he's some kind of racial instigator, but that's definitely not the vibe I got from this film at all. I thought he was really trying to show all the different sides of the issue fairly, and really trying to emphasize how serious this problem is in our society. I don't think he's gotten enough credit for this film. Actually, I think he got a lot of hate when he made this film originally from white audiences in particular, like he was just instigating things. I'll go even a step further and say I was really impressed watching Spike Lee because, he plays a character in this film, but he's not playing a character who just reflects his own personal views. He's just one character in the dynamic of the characters in the story. Mm-hmm. And there's, you got like the Danny Aiello and his two sons and the views they expressed. Everything was well balanced. I was impressed by that. It's not just Spike Lee's opinion about race or about white people versus black people. It's an intelligent look at how these kinds of situations occur where people senselessly are killed by the police and then what happens after. And I love the development of the characters up to the flashpoint in the story where everything kind of devolves into violence and chaos.
One of the things that, and I had seen it a number of times, that movie starring Rosie Perez, but
I know the story. The viewers don't understand there's a backstory to you meeting her, but we'll discuss that some other time, maybe.
Yeah, that's another time. Well, anyway, the thing is that he didn't step and draw a line and say I'm just going to show the Italian son's prejudice. He showed all of ours prejudice.
Right.
And even when we weren't trying to be, and when I say we, I'm talking about we as people weren't trying to be prejudiced, he showed where we were, but also where we were more than willing to cross the line, to be a friend, to be um, to be an employee, to be anything. We were we were set to cross the line, and we would also, in some ways, accept something that we didn't like. And I think that Spike Lee was brilliant for this film.
Right.
It is a brilliant movie. It still is. And like I said, it's way more relevant. It hit me more watching it yesterday than it did 30 years ago.
Mhm.
And it's like it really, just saddened me like unbelievably. That like I said, this shit's still going on. How can that be? But yeah, I mean, every character in this movie has their own form of prejudice, their and it's the frustration everybody feels. It's like nobody's a saint in this movie. Maybe his
Right.
sister is about the closest thing to it, because even like a character like Mother Sister, who at one point, she's pretty, she's kind of like, you know, she's kind of like the negative Nelly of the street anyway. But and at one point when the pizzeria is burning, she's like screaming, burn it down," and stuff. It was kind of shocking to see her that, and that yet after at the end when it's all burned up, she's the one like just goes through this dramatic wailing,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if I
Well,
like, need to get off on it.
No,
But
no, no.
yeah.
That's part of it. Is that it's like we're sad that this happened,
Mhm.
but then oh, but it's okay because or well, you know what? They shouldn't have done it, but I understand why they did it. In
What do you
burning
mean?
in
Burning
burning
the
the
pizzeria?
pizzeria
Yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think yeah.
there was some people who said, "No, I like him here. I want him here. He's been here all my life. I've been going to them all my life. Oh, but they don't have this. Okay, I don't like him, but
Well, so
I like
yeah.
him, but I don't like him."
It was a very that. I mean, you said he wasn't. He's not trying to answer any. He's not trying to answer even what doing the right thing is.
Right.
Really, in this movie, it's like because everybody does not. I don't think anybody does the right thing in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But again, yeah, I'm losing my train of thought, and I hate that. So,
I consider it a nice break in the day.
oh goodness. Oh my god. So, Hamilton, you want to say something? I've lost my train of thought where I was going.
Yeah, I agree. He doesn't really explain what the right thing is, but I definitely got a sense watching this film again. I love how he shows the humanity of all the characters, even
Yeah.
like Danny Aiello
Yeah.
and John Tutorro.
Mhm.
Like he obviously is a kid who's frustrated by his circumstances. He feels somehow ashamed that he has to go work in Bed-Stuy
Mhm.
to make a living. He feels like, why can't we just,
Why can't we be in our
we
own
don't
neighborhood?
belong
basically?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's understandable. It's not like he's just this horrible monster of a person. I
But
just, I
he's
think.
like the people don't even. I mean, that's what you guys are getting to. It. It's like it shows the complicated relationship between people of different races. It's like you can have a lot of love for them. It's like when they grew up, like Sal says, like they grew up on my pizza. I've seen these kids,
Mhm.
come in here since they were little, and they're grown,
Mhm.
and they love my food.
Mhm.
At the same time, you can turn around and like call them the N word in a minute. And
Yes.
and then the relationship's the same on the flip side and stuff. Mookie, who works there, he's like, I feel like you're a son, and Mookie looks at him like, I don't feel like you're a dad to me.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just here because I want to get paid,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
it's kind of
Mhm.
funny. I was just watching a video about another review of this movie from somebody else, and they totally interpreted Mookie's relationship with Sal. But yeah, it just really does. It lays out. It's like it's complicated. It's the
Mhm.
relationship. It's your local place, but the frustrations you have. You have this mixed frustration. Well, bugging out. He's like, he goes in there for pizza. Why aren't it? But he's frustrated that there aren't any Italians on. There's only Italian Americans on the wall, and stuff. And then Sal's like, well, you build your place, you can put whoever you want on the wall. But and then they also raise the issue where you have the 3 black men on the corner, and there's like, well, they're looking at the Korean grocer, the guy with the Korean store on the corner, and like, they come out here, this family come here, these Koreans come here, and they can build a store within a year, and we're been here all this time and don't have crap. And you think, well, maybe you need to make more of an effort. But what we know is there's systemic stuff that's part of it, but there's systemic stuff that keeps people, you got banks that won't give black people loans. There's all kinds of stuff that there's when black businesses went up, they've been destroyed. It's when they get some kind of success, all of a sudden there's something coming in to destroy them. So yeah, it's
well, my favorite part of the movie, and I'm glad that we replayed that part again. Is
I thought it was going to be something with Rosie Perez, but it's not.
Okay, no, you're right. My second favorite part of the movie.
The second part
was or maybe it's my third or fourth, but anyway, was when Spike Lee was talking to Sal's oldest son, and he said, you call these people niggers and this and that, and you hate them, you want to leave here. Who's your favorite basketball player? Michael Jordan.
Is it Magic Johnson, actually?
Yeah, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. Yeah. Who's your favorite singer? And he kept saying.
He wasn't going to answer.
Yeah. But Bruce Springsteen. And he goes, no, it's Prince. And he goes, because he said, who's your favorite rock star? And he said, well, Bruce Springsteen. He goes, no, it's Prince.
He didn't even answer, though. He kind of paused because he'd already answered 2 black people in a row. And then his third answer is like, then Mookie says, it's Prince. And he's like, no, Bruce, and stuff. And they get into a debate. So you can tell by the delay in his his answer that, he didn't, once he realized, he didn't want to say. Yeah,
and then when he said, well, they're all black, he goes, well, yeah, they're black, but no, they're not really. And, and then it just kept going on and on.
They're a different kind of, he just kept digging that hole.
He just...
They're different. They're not like real black or something like that. It's like, all right.
And, it was like what we keep saying and repeating what Dr. King said. Don't judge me by my skin color, because that's what you've been taught. Judge me by my character. Someone white can hurt you just as much as someone black. Someone Asian can hurt you just as much as someone white.
Excuse me, y'all. Sorry.
But in that same way, somebody can love you and understand you of a different race, a different color. So it's not that. Now, we all do have our preferences. Some people are, well, they would rather a blonde rather than a brunette. Some people would rather someone of an olive skin or a dark skin than a very, pale skin. You might like somebody's accent, better than someone. Well, we all have accents, but let's just say someone with an American accent. Well, you might like somebody that has like a Puerto Rican accent or something. You just never know.
I'm trying to get the floor to you.
He's making his Rosie Perez reference.
Who did you say?
Oh.
You said something about Puerto Rican accent, and then you kind of looked off to the side.
Did that Bill Cosby? No, we won't.
Yeah, that Bill Cosby look. No, I was just gonna add to what you're saying. Yeah,
Which is
he
the
really
wrong name to
captured the
bring up
sense of
too.
diversity in this neighborhood. I thought I love the little Spike Lee flourishes throughout the film where you have like like the different characters commenting on their views about issues that are being brought up. They got the Korean store owner, and he plays a significant role in weighing in on giving his particular view on what it feels like to be this character in this environment.
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy. I don't think any of us thought that 30 years after this film was made that we would still be seeing the same kind of issues coming up in society.
Never.
And watching the whole Radio Raheem scene at the end is very disturbing now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was disturbing before, but even more so now.
It's way more now.
Right.
It's hard to watch, but he shows everything.
I mean, before we didn't have cell phone cameras and you didn't see it on film. You've heard of these things happening. But to actually see the real thing, somebody that actually happening to somebody just makes it, I do want to, in reference to this, I mean, I saw a clip of Spike. It looked like at one of the press conferences when the movie came out, and he talks about he's like, no black people ever asked me why Mookie threw the trash can through the window.
I thought about that. That's interesting.
Ask that, and it's like because black people know, they understand why he did.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and what was even more interesting is most people ask about that rather than talk about the man who just got murdered by the police.
Right.
More people are concerned about why did Mookie throw the trash can rather than the police killing somebody, by using excessive force. And even when they're even you see it in the scene as the crowd is like, hey, you need to. Let him go. Hey, loosen up, dude. Listen up. You're too much. And one of the police officers says, hey, you need to ease up. You need to ease up. And I thought that was interesting because even in my own mind, it's that's the question I wonder why. And I guess because you follow Mookie through the film, most movies, the person you follow as kind of the main character, you want to be the hero, you want to be on their side. So when they do something that's against everything that you might feel is right, then, but still that's. I even thought that kind of woke me up, which is wow, I wasn't even thinking about them killing. How much? That's the thing we should be asking about, and that's sad.
It's interesting, Laurie, that you mentioned it because I was thinking that at the end of the film, why did he throw the trash can?
Why did he throw the trash can?
But to be perfectly honest, that might be what the title of the film is about when he says "do the right thing," because there's the scene right before that happens when Danny Aiello's character is talking about how they had such a great day and he's gonna promote everyone and Mookie's always gonna have a place to work.
And his son is not happy about that. And how Mookie always has a job and
and it's. To me, it speaks to the idea that white people kind of think if you're their friend, when something goes down, you're supposed to take their side. But I took it like Mookie realized there was a point where he had to choose a side.
Yeah,
the people
he very
in the street were
physically
looking at him.
that too. Because when they walk out the street, he's standing with Sal and his brothers, and he kind of looks around and just moves over to the other side with the neighborhood. And,
right, exactly.
I mean, we understand the frustration of the community. It's just everything that builds up in the film. You're seeing, you can't. You're just there, frustrated. You don't have anything. You can't do anything. There's not really a lot of opportunity. But you see all these other people. Wow, you see the Italian family that comes and opens up a business in your neighborhood and takes your dollars, all your neighborhood dollars, and takes it back to their home, basically. And it's not really circulating within your neighborhood. You got the Korean grocer who can come in and pop up something, and you still have nothing there. And you've been there all your life. So, and then, they take the guy away. you one of your friends that you've grown up with, and everybody understood not everybody in the neighborhood. It's kind of like seeing Radio Raheem walk around with the radio, and that was part of his identity, and that was part of his how he won respect. You know.
Yeah, but you know what?
Right.
I guess I look at the title, "Do the Right Thing,"
Mm-hmm.
and the title is, to me, from my perspective, it actually showed that no one was doing the right thing.
No.
And that it's saying,
Right, that's a good point.
Do the right thing. If everybody did the right thing,
yeah,
everything would have been fine.
But
But no
that's
one
a
was
good
doing
point.
the right
That's
thing.
a really
nobody
that's an
does.
excellent point.
Everybody does something that triggers. They contribute to.
But then
they.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, they do contribute. But yeah, but I was gonna be like, he's going around, but that what if you understood him, you understood how that was his thing. He didn't mean any harm. He does the whole love-hate speech.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the final thing. I mean, we know that's from another movie too, as well. I know it's, but he's like, love wins. So that's where he was coming from. And Mookie, talking to him on the street, he knows that about Ray Rodney. He doesn't mean anything. His radio, he likes to play it loud, and that's just. And he has that battle with the Puerto Rican guys, like who has the loudest radio, and he wins and stuff. But that's his sense of pride, and that's his sense of identity. So when he goes into Sal's, most people accept him for that. And said, well, some people accept me. The old guys are like, damn, turn that stuff.
But it was a thing of, you want to play the radio loud? Do you want to play your music loud? Do you want to play that same song over and over again?
Yeah.
Okay, go do it. But you cannot put that on me. So you cannot go into Sal's Pizzeria.
I'm getting to that. I'm just saying, but like the whole neighborhood understood him. That's who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So he walks in the pizzeria. That's who I am. Everybody knows that and stuff. And Sal goes off.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's my place. I don't want that loud music. know. But later on, Radio Raheem says he didn't even say please. It's like, would that have changed things? It's like, hey, can you turn that down in here? I'd like to. Could Sal have responded in a different way? Well, because Sal could have known and said, "Oh, Radio Raheem, cool, yeah. You mind, I respect you. That's your thing, but can you turn it down while you're in here?" Mm-hmm. So anyway, I just thought that was just something I kind of picked up on. I
totally agree, Laurie. I mean, when you say everyone was not doing the right thing, that my question would be like, what is the right thing? Should Radio Raheem have turned his radio down?
Yes.
When Sal demanded, of course we would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can see the conflict, like Laurie's pointing out, the way he asked him.
But he's walking. It's like everybody knows I'm Radio Raheem, and that's what I do.
Yes.
I've been. You've been in this neighborhood 25 years. I've been coming in here. This is
exactly.
You don't have to come at me like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It's one of those situations where like some understanding and respect from both sides would have squashed it.
Yes.
But honestly, that's one thing I really like about this film. It doesn't try to give simple answers to complicated issues. It doesn't try to give any answers,
really.
Right.
And
that's it shows how complicated things really are.
Yeah.
Yes.
These people who've lived in this community for decades or whatever feel like you should have black people on the wall too, but it's this man's pizzeria. He can have whoever he wants on the wall. So it's kind of complicated.
It's like, and then you could see there's some people's like, I don't care if he doesn't have black people on the walls. It's his pizzeria.
Yeah.
So one thing.
But you can see both sides of the issue. Really,
you do. I mean, he presents the frustrations and it's the both sides. You have Sal loves Mookie at the same time. He thinks he's like this. He's like the worst worker in the world.
Yeah.
But he'll always have a job there. But I think another thing in that interview that Spike Lee, they mentioned on that interview, it's like there isn't any. He's not trying to give any answers. And getting back to a lot of white people were mad at him. I think he was instigating stuff. And going back, looking at Black Klansman, it's like, no, Spike Lee has never kind of really instigated stuff. He's presenting everything and you decide. This is what I'm giving you this so you can think about it and decide what is the right thing. You know,
Right.
or is it
I
more
agree.
complicated than that? So he's not here to answer that question.
Right. And the
Yeah,
truth is, I don't think anyone else could have made a film as poignant as this about the issue other
Yeah,
than Spike Lee. I don't think anyone else has even
not even
tried.
like it. Yeah.
You know, it's a
and
it's a special film.
the
Oh,
word
go
you
ahead.
use, brilliant. I think as much as I sometimes look at Spike Lee, and I myself sometimes think, well, he shouldn't have done that. All he has ever done is said, here's the plate of food as it was cooked,
Yeah.
and puts it in front of you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And
You tell me what it's about.
yeah,
Yeah.
you tell
You
me
tell me
how
what
it
it
tastes.
is.
You tell me
Yeah.
the things you
Mhm.
like and you don't like,
Yeah.
because it's all there. And some of these things that you don't like, tell me how to improve it. Don't yell at me.
Mhm.
Don't give me yours. Just tell me how it is. Tell me
Mhm.
what you would do to improve it.
Tell it like
Mhm.
it is.
Yeah, don't put
Yeah, it is.
don't put
Yeah.
raisins in your in
Your salad or whatever.
Potato salad,
potato
right?
salad. Don't do
Right. Right.
that.
Right.
Well, I will.
Everyone
I
has
And
their
do
own
like a raisin. I
perspective
do
and
like a
opinion.
grape and a chicken salad. I won't say nothing else.
yeah,
I do like some sliced grapes and a chicken salad. But
Well,
anyway,
I
yeah,
was just gonna say, y'all, I'm glad we watched this movie because it is
yeah,
very poignant for anyone who's never seen this movie. I highly recommend it. For
highly
those who've
recommend.
seen it and haven't seen it in a long time, I highly recommend it as well.
Especially
You know,
in what's going on now.
yeah,
Watch it.
it's
Watch this,
definitely,
and
yes.
yeah.
It's
think about what it is
I
to do the right thing.
it's
I
almost as
think it.
though he made
Oh,
it
go ahead.
yesterday.
Yeah.
I think it was a film that was maybe ahead of its time. You know, at the end of the day, I just think that a lot of the stuff he was trying to grapple with, people weren't ready for it when it came out, and people have their own perspective, so they assume that, oh, he's a racist, oh, he's this, but I think he did an incredible job as a filmmaker in trying to make sure every person in that film had a voice. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
It's.
like I said, I highly recommend
I
it.
think yeah, his usually rhetoric and talk in public and promotional is different from what comes across in his films. I think he's a lot more open and fair, trying to figure out things from wants to present a lot of different views. And
I think if you consider that uh, '89, that was the same year as the Central Park Five,
oh, was it?
and yeah, I don't think people were outraged with Donald Trump taking out an ad in the what is it, the New
No.
York Post or whatever, saying that they need to fry these kids, who were later found out to be innocent of all the charges that were being thrown against them. But they get outraged by Spike Lee,
Yeah.
making a comment in the media or something about race, and
It's like
it just goes to show you
they get
the
outraged by
attitude
Mookie.
people
Yeah,
have.
Mookie throwing the trash can and not about the police officer using excessive force and killing a guy.
Right,
But I think we need to
right.
wrap this up because this one's going on about 30 minutes long. So
Oh, that.
this
Oh,
review,
wow. I didn't even
yeah.
realize.
So definitely see Do the Right Thing. It is a classic movie. It was underrated at its time. It's gotten a lot more respect now. People like it's considered a classic and respected in the film as a film. One of great films. So see it. Tell us what you think in the comments. And are we out?
We're out.
We out. Oh, we don't clap anymore. Oh my god. All right, we out.
Yo, I have to run